Boy-women sex, an initial test of sexual victimological theory. For this analysis, non-clinical studies were sought that reported men's remembrances of their reactions to boyhood sexual encounters with women, as well as their perceptions of the effects of these encounters and their willingness to participate. Many studies to date have reported on boys' reactions to sex with adults, but few have separately reported responses by gender of the older participant. Table 1 presents a summary of 9 studies where men's boyhood reactions, self-reported effects, or perceived consent specifically to sexual episodes with women could be extracted. Based on n equals 325 cases or experiences in the 9 studies for which reaction data were provided, boys' reactions to sexual episodes with women were most often positive, 62%, and only occasionally negative, 14%. Based on n equals 279 cases or experiences, only a small minority, 19%, felt harmed in some way by the episodes, whereas twice as many men felt benefited, 41%. Based on n equals 357 cases or experiences where relevant data were provided, boys' level of willingness or consent was quite high, 87%, with only 13% reporting lack of consent. Not displayed in the table, the studies also revealed the following. These sexual episodes often involved oral sex and vaginal intercourse rather than superficial interactions. In general, experiences were less positive when the boys were prepubescent, but tended to be more positive and consenting as the boys were beginning adolescence, e.g. Coxell et al. 1999, Okami 1991, Woods and Dean 1984. Furthermore, the longer the duration, the greater the frequency, and the more intense the nature of the sexual contacts, e.g. intercourse as opposed to fondling, the more positive the boys' reactions tended to be, e.g. Okami, 1991, West and Woodhouse, 1993. Finally, men with consenting sexual relations as boys with women were as well adjusted as controls and measures of adult psychological functioning. Coxell et al. 1999, Frometh and Burkhardt 1987, 1989, Okami 1991, Sandfort 1988 and 1992. Reinforcing these findings are the results from a recent analysis of the Kinsey data in which males' reactions to first coitus after reaching puberty, often an especially significant life event, were assessed. Rind and Welter, 2012. Reactions to the first coitus were very positive just as often when it occurred as an adolescent, 10 to 17, with an adult woman, n equals 548, 41%, as when it occurred as an adult, 18 or over, with an adult woman, n equals 2,546, 41%. The highest rate of positive reactions among all groups was among younger adolescent boys aged 10 to 14 with adult women, n equals 116, 63%. The foregoing results dramatically contradict sexual victimological theory, specifically its strongly held assumptions that all minors are overpowered and traumatized by sex with much older persons. Notably, sexual victimologists have responded by arguing that boys who view their relations as consenting and positive have been deceptively indoctrinated and manipulated. See Rind et al. 2001 for discussion, implying that the natural innate response is one of feeling exploited and traumatized. However, if we turn to nature, i.e. other species closely related to humans, we do not find evidence that such response is innate. In humans' closest relatives, bonobos and chimps, juvenile males frequently and preferentially solicit adult females and attempt to copulate with them. In most cases, they show sexual arousal with erections. Adult females are usually tolerant and even cooperative, But when they are not, the juvenile males frequently protest with whimpering or tantrums. Bagamil, 1999, Hashimoto, 1997, Kano, 1980, Collar, Beckwith, and Edgerton, 1968. Similar patterns have been observed in many other primate species. Bagamil, 1999. Anderson and Bielert, 1990, noted that, quote, among non-human primates, sexual interaction between adult females and immature males is universal. Page 192. It may be that primate patterns do not extend to humans, but the similarity of the observed human and primate patterns in juvenile male, adult female sex suggests a phylogenetic continuum. Cf. Ford and Beach, 1951. The data are completely inconsistent with sexual victimological assumptions of innate exploitation and trauma. In short, the above empirical results contradict the broad sweep of sexual victimological theory to such an extent as to expose the theory as ideological and scientifically defective, points that have been made conceptually by various critics, e.g. Angelides, 2004, 2005, Jenkins, 1998, Nathan and Snedeker, 1995. These results demonstrate that boys, especially in adolescence, are not, in essence, the sexually fragile beings that the sexual victimological models based on rape and incest involving females have been used to suggest. These findings do not imply the same for pederasty, the chief interest here, but they conceptually pave the way for a consideration of pederasty conducted without being tied down by the ideological assumptions of sexual victimology, which dominate current popular and professional views of pederasty.